Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 64 and today we are starting things off with a bit of a problem. Every single time I come in here I actually get scared by that thing. But if we take a look inside Exhuma's store, he is fresh out of stock in pretty much everything. The only thing that he has is turtle eggs, but one of the things that Exuma sold was bone blocks. And yeah, we have none, which means that we can't make white concrete. That's a problem. We also, we can't use any bone meal for our new, slightly explosive tree farm. See, it's funny, when it comes to the Hermitcraft server, I've gotten so used to being able to buy everything that suddenly when I can't, I'm totally lost. Sometimes I wish I could grief things on Hermitcraft because I'm just looking at these and thinking, that would be enough bone meal. With a big thanks to Grian, we now have 32 bone blocks, which isn't really going to be enough for us to do any serious AFKing at this thing, but it is going to be enough for us to at least test it out and give it a good trial run. So first things first, we actually need to repair the TNT explosion from last time. Not good. Better. Not good! So, now that we have that all fully fixed up, I think it's time for a test. I'm gonna chuck some bone meal into the system, and we're just gonna give it a go. So here it is. That is using a lot of bone meal, isn't it? Yeah, that doesn't seem right. Stop using up all my bone meal. Okay, now that I've found out that actually the obsidian was one block too low, which was obviously causing our tree to not grow in the slightest, I think we're ready to go once again. So, sapling going in, bone meal being dispensed. We got the tree. I should probably get out of the way. It is functioning. So if I hold down the right click button, get ourselves a tree, it then gets exploded. And then all I have to do is just keep replanting all of the birch trees. Happy days, ladies and gentlemen. We've actually built something that works. I'm impressed by that. Of course, there are still a ton of things left to do. I mean, first off, we actually have to do these hopper minecarts, which the way that they work is a little bit strange. So I think it has to be kind of half on the block. Hang on, if I go like this. What? What just happened? Again? Oh my word. Oh, it looks like it's destroyed pretty much everything. Having reviewed the footage, I think I might have worked out our problem. Let's head through into the analysis room, which currently doesn't have a roof, but, you know, we're going to completely ignore that because what essentially happened is that I placed a block in front of the dispenser to straighten out that minecart rail, but of course when you do that, well, the tree farm just thinks that a tree has grown, and it activates, which then of course drops TNT. This is the problem with TNT-based farms, is that it's very easy for the TNT to farm the farm itself. But it is now back, and it's now working again. I've redone all of the redstone, we've got all of the hoppers back in place, and hopefully this is the last time I ever have to reconstruct this thing, because if it blows up again, I'm just going to place more TNT and completely destroy the thing. So now it's time to use this thing and see how many trees I get with the small amount of bone meal that I have. And I gotta say, this is possibly the most satisfying farm I've ever used in my entire life. Like, seriously, I could do this all day long. But after just 5 minutes, I totally ran out of bone meal. So we used about 2.5 stacks of bone meal there, and we managed to get 64 plus 30 trees within around about 4 minutes. Not bad at all, especially considering I could do this AFK overnight. We just need a lot of bones. Anyway, moving swiftly on, there's a few little odd jobs that I want to do around the base quickly that have kind of been on my to-do list for a little while, so I think it would be good to get those ticked off. Now, I wonder, if we have this set up here, what's our light level looking like? So we're on the 9 block level. Okay, so we'd have to we'd have to have one of these every 3 blocks. And even then, it's still spawning stuff. What are we going to do on this side? This is a bit of a mystery to me. However, I think I've solved it by adding in some end rods on the outside. So it kind of looks like this light bar goes all the way through. So it goes through that side, then pops out in the middle, and then pops out on the other side like that. So that should prevent any mobs from spawning on these areas here, which is nice. It means that I should be relatively unscathed when I'm AFKing over there. But there's also this section as well. I guess if I just do the same thing over here, it could end up looking quite cool. It did, but now I've dropped down into this area, and it turns out just that the entire build is like a dark build. There's no light anywhere. So you can see that our block light level is going between 7 and 8. I wonder what's even causing it to spike. I guess it's where redstone torches are placed. I wonder if it would be an idea. I'm guessing it's dark down there as well. Wow, there's not a whole lot I can do other than, I guess, place end rods kind of like this. And then do it periodically, I suppose. I mean, what's the central point between these two? It is now looking a lot more spiky. I mean, it's kind of like it's crashed into a hedgehog. But I'd say it's looking better for the simple fact that it's now not covered in mobs. Now, there's a few that are missing here, so I think I've just got to do these ones. So that goes in there, that goes in on this side, and then we get the one in the middle. And that will be all of the lights in place. And yeah, it's a massive improvement, even if it is a little bit prickly. Do I do it? I mean, the torches don't exactly suit this build, do they? I don't really have that many end rods. I might be able to craft them up. I guess if I just run around doing that and just replacing all the torches that I can, that's probably the best strategy, really, isn't it? Yeah, let's do it. I mean, there's no point in putting it off. This is one of those things that I've wanted to do for a little... Well, actually, hang on. Does it look better? Yeah, it definitely looks better. Look at that. Look how much better that looks. Does it look better? Don't be so silly. Can you remember when torches were the only light source available in Minecraft? I actually think when I first started playing, I think glowstone was also a thing. Yeah, I definitely started playing after the nether was introduced, so I also had glowstone. But let's face it. Okay, I'm going to say this really quietly, but glowstone is an ugly block. Like, if you look at a glowstone block, it's potentially one of the ugliest blocks in the game. It definitely has potential to be it. Is it stealing if I own the store? I feel like that's a no. Finally, after a lot of walking in circles, we are now all fully completed with lighting up this thing with end rods as opposed to torches. And yep, that was well worth doing. Look how much better that looks. It looks so much neater and so much tidier. Oh, yeah, that... Because it looks like it's just glowing. You can't see the torch. You can't really see the end rods. It just looks like it's just glowing. Okay, there's a few torches on a few of my other builds. I'm going to replace those with end rods now as well. This can obviously stay torched because, well, it's the land. This build is now done, and it's all fully lit up as well, so this is now looking much better. But as I was flying around in that previous clip, I remembered something, and that is the fact that these edges of my base are essentially gigantic mob spawners. They are constantly just chucking out mobs. I'm surprised that there isn't a bunch of them right now. I guess because there's a bunch of people on the server. Dude, chill out. He's been there for like the past week. He really wants to go off the edge. Either way, yeah, I feel like these need to be lit up too. I don't know how I'm going to do it though. I think potentially this. Oh my word. Okay, this is going to use up every single one of my end rods for sure. Alright, I think I'm going to come up with a rule in that if you have single ones, then it's every other one that you do. Yeah. Oh, it looks super cool though. It looks super cool though. Look at that. Oh my word. Yeah, with 1/4 fully completed, I gotta say, that is quite a big improvement. And it's something that I would, well, I say I would never have thought of. Obviously, I just thought of it. But I didn't think it would make that much of a difference, but it looks so cool. It looks so good. Yeah, I really hope I've got enough end rods for this. I do also want to mention that although all of this looks very simple, all I'm doing is just taking out things, placing end rods, it's quite time consuming. God, this Mumbo guy really is going to need to restock his store soon. I mean, his stocks, it's just always looking so low. I think that is everything. I'm fairly certain that's got to be everything now. It feels like I've been doing that forever. Yeah. Oh, it looks so cool. It looks so much cooler like that. Man. The base is coming together. I mean, I know this is by far my favourite base in any Hermitcraft season. Like, the way that everything is just combining and knitting in. Yeah, really, really proud of myself on this one. Really, really proud. Holy mackerel. We have got a lot of villagers which have been generated by this thing while we've been chilling out and placing in all of those. So I guess, yeah, we should probably start loading those into the villager trading hall and actually working out which villagers we want to keep. But let's be totally honest, I mean, it's very boring to watch. So I'm going to do that now, but I'm not going to record any of it, and I'll see you when we move on to something new. And that new thing is very, very important. As you guys know, I am a mole working for Team G, who has infiltrated Team Star, but then revealed to Team Star that I am in fact a mole. They have asked me to work for them, being a mole, for Team G, so I am effectively a triple agent. And that means that, well, I've got loads of moling to do. I mean, as if being one mole wasn't enough, I have a double batch of mole work to do, which means that I have to put on my secret agent. I can't take myself seriously when I'm wearing those. Okay, give me a second. I've had to don my secret agent sunglasses, and we are going to try our best to find out some secrets about their bases. The north of Team Star's base appears to resemble a turtle. I feel this is a tactical maneuver as turtles have very hard shells. Although I don't know if this hardness has translated to their build. More testing is required. I fear that false symmetry may have caught me moling. I'm not moling. Is that how you would spell moling? I don't know. I don't think anyone's ever called it that. Aside from a few comments about my sunglasses, I feel like I might have gotten away with that one. So, the main tower is large and mainly made of stone. It appears to have holes in it that could be used for arrow shooting. It is also very skinny. A strong breeze from the east could cause a topple. It's also empty on the inside. I'm not going to tell Team G about this ghast because, I mean, I wouldn't want anything to happen to it. It's taken a lot of effort for them to get a ghast here. To the south of their base, there appears to be a weapon, highly complex with redstone wiring that is far above my expertise. It occasionally makes a moo sound. You may wish to submit this report to G-Team Tech Department for further analysis. Now, of course, we don't want Team Star to find out about my mole reports, so I have to leave them in unsuspecting places, and I think the first place is going to be the furnace in Grian's You Lazy Sod Travelling Market. I've never noticed the name of this place before. Then, of course, I need to give a coded location to Grian so he knows where to find my mole report. So I think I'm going to call it Grind Until Warm. And that is, of course, because his shop is dedicated to grindy materials and we've put it inside a furnace. Hopefully he understands that. But if he doesn't, that's not going to be a problem because I am friends with Grian. I am actually going to send him a Discord message telling him the exact location because, let's be real, that is a very vague clue. I feel like he'd be looking forever if that's all I gave him. With that being said, sending off coded locations is of course all in the name of fun, and I wouldn't be a proper secret agent without doing it. So there we go. Send that off. That should end up in Grian's messaging system, and hopefully he should find it quite quickly. Anyway, I think that's enough mole work for today. So let's remove the sunglasses because, let's face it, they look totally ridiculous, and get back to work on some bits. And the bits that I really need to work on is the build that is going to be going around my automatic tree farm. Now, this is going to be really tricky because obviously we've got TNT involved. It's going to try its best to blow things up, which means that there's a certain radius around that thing that I'm not going to be able to interact with. And in fact, you know what? I'm actually going to do a little bit of testing here. That is not the sort of testing I wanted to do. I don't believe it. How many times in this episode have I blown up this tree farm? This specific tree farm? I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous. Regardless of that thing exploding in front of us, I actually think it's probably a smart idea to use this build as the template for the build that we're going to be doing on Hermitcraft, because of course now we know the exact size of this thing and we can kind of build up around it. It's quite tall and very skinny. This is going to be a tricky one. Right. Okay, so this is what I've started with. So we kind of have this platform here. Now I'm actually thinking that we're going to, because this is a mistake that I always fall into. I always go to create like a layer cake where it's just layers, and I think I actually need to mix things in. Maybe even, okay, so if we get another layer up here and then just have that be this gap, that will look cool, and then we'll have the actual structure up on the top. But I definitely think that we need some kind of connecting thing going up through the middle. Kind of a little bit like this. And then we could have, maybe that drops down like that, and then we could have maybe stone slabs in the middle. Have I used stone slabs at all on the outside of my builds yet? I don't know if I have. And yes, I am aware that that was off-center. I realised that most of you are probably screaming into your keyboards at this point in time. Don't worry, I've got that fixed. What on earth am I doing? What am I doing? This is... No, this is not... This doesn't even fit in with the kind of style of the futuristic district. It really doesn't. All of a sudden, just from that corner, it kind of does. And I think it's due to this. I actually think that this is what's doing it. So that kind of corner edge there. What am I doing? No. Okay, so we need that to be... So if we can match this up. Maybe something like this. No, it's way too flat. It's so flat. This is not good. This is my new concept that I'm kind of messing around with, which is, I guess, I mean, we have big areas coming out. See, look, this is gonna be a huge, just cyan wall. That's the problem, but I thought we could reflect it on the top. This is going awfully as well. I can't. I am completely unable to design this thing. I don't know what's going on with me, but nothing is coming together properly. Nothing's working. I just can't do it. I can't place the blocks incorrectly. I've done a bunch of stuff that you guys haven't seen in the video. It's frustrating when you're this, when you're just this creatively blocked. It drives me around the bend. So I've come up with a plan. I want you guys to build it for me. Now this worked out really well with this structure over here. I was really struggling for inspiration with this build, and then I did the hashtag build for Mumbo challenge type thing, and one of the ideas that was submitted just totally inspired me to come up with this design, and it's one of my favorite builds in the city area. So I think that will work out really nicely for the TNT tree farm that we have out the back there. Now all of the details can be found down in the description for if you want to enter, but I think most importantly it is hashtag MumboTNTree. That is going to be the hashtag, so of course go away, build up the structure around it, and then submit it via Twitter with the hashtag TNTree. Mumbo TNTree. I can't even remember what I said. It'll be down in the description. But dimensions wise, we are working with a 16 by 21 area. So that is the space that you have to work with. 16 by 21. Once again, all the detail down in the description because I'm making a mess of this. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode on the Hermitcraft server. It's been very action-packed. If you have, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.